Hi, mathematicians. All right, so today we are working on rounding to the nearest hundred. You're going to be playing a game similar to the game you played on Tuesday, round ball tens, except for this time it's round ball hundreds. Um, Today, let's start off by looking at these base 10 blocks. So we're rounding to the nearest hundred, and you can see here that we have 100, 200, 210, 20, 30, 232, 4, 6, 8. So we have 238 blocks. And when you round to the nearest hundred, you're thinking you're either going to stay the same, you're going to keep this 200 here, or you're going to round to the next hundred. So the first thing that you have to think to yourself is, what are the two hundreds that I am thinking about? What number, what's this number between? This number is between 200 and 300. So your answer is going to be either 200 or 300. Let's think about how we can figure that out. When you're rounding to the closest 100 or 10 or whatever it is. In this case, we're rounding to the nearest 100. And so you're looking at the tens place here. And in this case, there are 1, 2, 3 tens. So this is 3 groups of 10. And we know that when we are rounding, we round to the smaller 100 if you have 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 in this spot that you're looking at, in this case, the tens place. And since we have 3, we're rounding this number to 200. Let's take a look at that on our number line. So here we have our number line, and I think that number lines are really, really helpful when you're rounding because it's really visual, right? I mean, you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, I need to round 238 to the nearest 100. And again, you have to think, okay, what are the 200s that I'm working with? It's either going to be 200 or 300, the next 100. Then a really good strategy is to always put that center line here. So since we're hundreds, 250 is the middle, is exactly in the middle. If your number was 250, you would round it to 300. In this case, since it's smaller than 250, you're going to, again, look at this 10, the number in the tens place, this one. And since it's a 3, you're rounding down. So you're rounding to the nearest 100, and the answer is 200. Let's look at another one. So the next number that we're thinking about is 371. Well, we have 100, 200, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 60, and 70, and 1 more. So 371 here. And I know that when, if I had to add more to get up to 400, I would only have to add 3 more tens, right? So in this case, we're going to round up because this number is 7, and 7 is between 5 and 10. Let's look at the 371 on the number line. Now, first of all, we have to shift our minds, right, from rounding to the nearest 10 to rounding to the nearest 100. I know you guys already figured out that 371 rounded to the nearest 10 is 370 because this 1 in the ones place is only 1. It's really small. It's really, really close to 370. But here we're rounding to the nearest 100. So 371 is between 300 and 400. And we are going to think about where 371 would fall. So I know 310, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 371 is around here, right? 380 and 390 would be here. So I'm going to write 371 right here. Oops, that's not a very good 7. 371. And because it falls between the midpoint and the next 100, we know that the answer is 400. And if we didn't have a number line, we could know that it would round to 400 because of the 7. So when you're rounding to the nearest 100, you're going to look at the tens place. And in this case, there are 7 tens. 7 tens means that you're rounding to the nearest, the higher 100. So if your tens place is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you round up because 5, 360, 70, 380, and 390 are all between the midpoint and the next 100. And if you round down, you're rounding these numbers, 310, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so when you're rounding, you're always thinking about what is the place right next to the number that I need to round. Let's look at one more. So rounding 251 to the nearest 100. All right, so 251, we've already got our number line here, and you tell me when to stop my pen for 251. Where does 251 fall on this number line here? No. Right here? No. How about right here? Nope. How about right here? How about right here? Yes, Miss Carr, 251 is right there. It's really close to 250. So does it round to 300 or does it round to 200? Remember, you're looking at the tens place. In this case, this 5. When your number in the tens place, and the place you're looking at is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you always round up. So in this case, 251 rounds to 300. All right, let's see. So here's our chart again, rounding. Repeat after me. Find the place. Look next door. 5 or bigger. Add one more. 4 or less. Let it rest. I didn't hear you that time. All right, I'll do it again. This time you have to say it. Find the place. Look next door. 5 or bigger. Add one more. 4 or less. Let it rest. And do you see that? So I'm rounding to the nearest 10. I find the place. That's the box. I look next door. That's where the arrow is. And I look at the tens place, the ones place here, and I think to myself, 4 or less, let it rest. It stays the same, 20. If I look here and it's 5 or bigger, I add one more. So I add 1 to the 2 and I have 30. Let's do that with the 100. Nearest 100, find the place. There's the place value. 100 is the place value. Look next door, right next door. That's the tens place. 5 or bigger? Nope, it's 3. That means let it rest. It stays at 100. There we go. Here's an example with thousands. When you have 1,000, you're only paying attention still to the hundreds place and the tens place. So when you write your answer, you still have 1,000 there. Yeah, that's sometimes kind of tricky for kids, so keep that in mind. All right, let's see. Did you do it? All right, so you are going to work on rounding 324, 675, 583, 446, 755, and 319 to the nearest 100. All right. So again, I'm going to show you, find the place. That's this place. Look next door. Whoop. 5 or bigger, 5 or greater. Add one more. Nope. 4 or less, let it rest. So this one, 300. Find the place, hundreds place. Look next door, 5 or bigger. Add one more. 6 plus 1, 700. Find the place, 5. Look next door, 8. 5 or bigger, yes. Add one more. 600. I'm doing your work for you because I'm having so much fun. Find the place. Look next door. Ooh, ooh, ooh. 4 or less, let it rest. Let it rest. That means no. Ooh, ooh, ee, ooh, ooh. All right, I will let you do the other two. All right, no. This all is going to go away, and you're going to work on this slide. All right, cool. So you work on slide 8, and then you are going to work on rounding a couple of pages. It's actually just one page, page 81 in your student book. So this is, I'm not going to make a separate video for how to do this because we just went over it. Round these to the nearest 10. Read the directions. Make sure you read the directions. Round these to the nearest 100. Round this to the nearest 10 and to the nearest 100. So in this case, find the place. I'm going to round to the nearest 10 first. Find the place. That's this. Oops. Find the place. Look next door. Oop, there's the 4. 4 or less, let it rest. All right, so 310. Now I have to round the same number to the nearest 100. Find the place. This one times it's 3. Look next door. 1. 4 or less, let it rest. 1 is less than 4. So I'm rounding here. Let it rest. That means 300. I love this poem. Find the place. First I do tens. Look next door. 5 or greater. Add one more. Oh boy. 5,200. Oh no, yep, 240. That's rounding to the nearest 10. Then you have to do the hundreds. I'm not doing any more of your work. And then you have a tiny little review down here of multiplication. Remember, you can use repeated addition. You can also use your distributive property and break this up. So if you don't like 7 times 6, you could do 7 times 5 plus 7 times 1, right? So 7 groups of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, plus one more group of 7, okay? Oh, 35, 40, 45, 35, blah, blah, blah. All right, this one you have to figure out how many 6s go into 24. Add them up. 6 plus 6 is 12, okay? Same thing with the 9s, or you could, well, same thing with the 9s. This one, 6 times what is the same as 3 times 10. This one here, 2 times 9 is the same as 3 times some other number. All right, have a fantastic time. Also, we're going to be playing round ball 100s just for fun. So enjoy playing that game. And then on Friday, we'll have so many games to play. Holy moly. All right. Bye.